Digimon Con 2024 is over! We knew going into this thing that it was going to be all about the 25th anniversary of Digimon animation. As you can see right there on the logo, we had a good idea of several things to expect. Obviously, a healthy dose of Digimon Adventure and other Digimon animations as well. We also see Terramon and Lugamon on here, indicating that we were going to see stuff about Liberator and Seekers, which we did. We actually got quite a bit about Liberator. Very cool. For a webcomic, it's actually shaping up to be something I may be interested in. We'll see. We'll see. I'm definitely going to try to give that one a shot. I have not given Seekers a shot yet. Now that it's over, I very well might. Also haven't given Dreamers a shot, or Next, or V-Tamer. I got a lot to catch up on, don't I? Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about today. So, obviously, there was a lot of stuff going on at Digimon Con. This channel, of course, is dedicated to Digimon V-Pets and sometimes other LCD toys, and that other category came in full force this time because there is a huge announcement. One of the bigger ones I've seen in recent times, which is pretty dang exciting. And I can't wait to get into it. So we're going to go into that in just a second. I've got that to cover. There's one other VPET thing and a few other things we'll go over. And we'll also talk about what wasn't brought up and what that means. So yeah, a lot of stuff to get into. As I talk about these announcements, you may think to yourself, man, I should really buy 1 or 12 of these things. And the good news is that this video is sponsored by a store that can let you do just that. Zen and TCG is your one-stop shop for Digimon and anime merch, and of course, they will be selling the items we are talking about today. All 3 variations of the Digivice 25th Color Evolution, the Standard, DX Taichi, and DX Yamato, can be bought there, as can the Osmaria editions of the Digital Monster X. What I'm most excited about, though, is what wasn't announced at Digimon Con, and that's their newly unveiled premium VPET case. This is a brand new design made by Zen themselves, inspired by the Ironmon cases of old. Transparent in the middle with a frosted top and bottom, these are industrially produced items to ensure high quality. These cases fit the Digital Monster Color, Digital Monster X, Digital Monster version 20th, and of course the original Digital Monster. Pre-orders are available now and should be releasing in July or August 2024. If there is enough interest in these, they plan on making a pendulum case as well. Hit up the link in the description to shop now. Before I actually deep dive here, I do want to give a disclaimer that this is a little bit of a different format from what I normally do for these types of videos. I'm a little bit tight on time this week. I apologize, so I don't have the time to really put together a normal video, and I'm kind of just going to be going through browser tabs on here. Sorry, if I was doing this as a full-time job, I would not be doing this little level of effort. This is actually still quite a bit of effort for me to do, so thank you for bearing with me. Other videos will have more to them. I actually have a review for the Pendulum Color right now that I spent a good amount of time on getting that ready and had to postpone it in favor of this because this is big news that needs to come out sooner rather than later. So let's go ahead and look at what we got. So the big piece of new information here is this. This is the Digivice 25th Color Evolution, and that is quite the mouthful of a name, of course, but you can see right away what it is. This is a classic style Digivice, the same kind that they released back in 1999 with the original Digimon Adventure. You probably had one as a kid if you were into Digimon back then. I certainly did. I had the American version, which was, you know, a lot of people used to say that it was a stripped down version of the Japanese one, but I actually like the American version better than the Japanese one back then. The version 15th that I have, I think it's about on par with the American one, but the American one had cool features in it. Either way, that's not what we're here to talk about. The point being is that it was a pedometer toy where as you would clip it to your belt and you'd walk around and it would shake, your Digimon would walk with you and events would happen. You'd get into battles and you'd find other Digimon to partner up with. It was a really dang cool little thing, really fun little toy. Not as, you know, I wasn't as into it as I was the VPETs, that's for sure. I wished that I was able to raise them and they were able to stay evolved and that kind of thing, but it was still a ton of fun because, I mean, let's face it, I loved Digimon Adventure growing up. I thought it was great, so just having that from the show I thought was really dang cool. I would even, you know, should I even say this out loud? As a child, I should clarify, 10 or 11 years old, I would hold my Digivice up to my computer screen hoping it would do something. Other people did that too, right? Other people definitely did that too. That wasn't just me. Either way. So, moving on. So this is a brand new Digivice, right? So the shell looks like the old one. It's actually a little bit of a different mold it looks like overall. So it looks similar. But there's one big difference right there, and that is the big round color screen we have right there in the middle. So that is something that was obviously not on the original. The original was black and white and had the just the worst sprites, and honestly, this Agumon Vital Bracelet sprite's not much better. They are Vital Bracelet sprites where they are available. Later Vital Bracelet sprites, they did a great job with. I think they look beautiful, except for Shoutmon. Shoutmon, they really skipped out on, didn't they? It's a whole line. But the early Vital Bracelet sprites were very overall. They were learning, all right? Or hiring someone who did a better job. I don't know what it was, but later on they got a lot better. This Agumon, though, is not the best. But either way, yeah, they came out, they introduced it with, they were actually wearing them on their jackets, and when they walked in, I'm like, oh, well, they got the version complete. That's cool. I wonder what they're going to introduce after the version complete. But nah, they busted it out, turned it on, and it was this color device, and we all lost our minds. We had a bingo game going last night during the stream, and once that happened, we're like, oh my gosh, it's a brand new thing, and it's, wow, because we were all expecting an SCSA. Well, no, I shouldn't say we all. I was, and that's what I was presenting as the most likely option, so if I led you to believe that, well, I don't apologize, because that's what it really seemed like would happen. I fully believe that, but right before, or the day before, so I don't remember how long, I looked at it again, looked at the picture, they had a silhouette that they teased, and I saw a little nub at the top, and I'm like, is that a connection nub? Is that what that is? And I tried comparing it with my version complete, and it didn't, or my version 15th, I should say, and it didn't quite match up, and so I was still a little bit skeptical, but I'm like, maybe this is a Quest device instead of an SCSA. But, and for those unaware, SCSA stands for Super Complete Selection Animation, and they are meant to be very or very show accurate versions of the toys that perform things that you would see them do on the show. So it would have things like a Digimon Analyzer, and it would show you evolution sequences for the different Digimon. And this has that. And this is something I would not have expected. I'd expected one or the other. I did not expect both combined into one thing, which is pretty dang phenomenal. Now, something I should mention right away is that this is on Premium Bandai Japan, and it is a pre-order product. Normally speaking, these are made to order, and they don't necessarily have them stocked in any way after the pre-order period is over. Now, there are import stores that may also be selling these, and that will have extra stock left over, oftentimes in a lot of cases. So it's not to say that if you missed the pre-order, you're never going to get one, but after the pre-order period, and especially after release, those prices may go up. So if you are wanting this, it's best to act fast. Pre-orders are going through April 22nd on Premium Bandai Japan. If you are not in Japan, you cannot order directly from them. You can use a proxy service, or you can use an import store like Zen and TCG or Japan You Want. Those are options as well. Other import stores may have them as well. I'm not going to go through a whole list of what your options are. If you want to know more about buying stuff from Japan, we have a whole channel for that called How to Buy VPets at the Digitama Hatchery Discord server. So make sure to check that out. As far as pricing goes, these go for 11,000 yen. So that equals out to something around 75 USD, something in that range. So honestly, not too bad compared to previous releases. I think the yen amount is about the same, but just the dollar is so much, or the yen is just so weak compared to the dollar right now that it works out in our favor pretty well, those of you that live in the United States at least. For other countries, I don't know, you have to do your own conversions on that one. So not as pricey as I would have expected it, which is welcome, so that's nice to see. Of course, if you are using an import store, they are going to set their own prices based on this original retail amount, so what I'm telling you right now is just specifically for the Premium Bandai Japan page. Premium Bandai US may also have pre-orders available for this. A reminder that Premium Bandai US is basically just another import store. They get it the same way everyone else does, except they take 2 to 3 months longer to actually ship it to you. So keep that in mind if you do want to wait on seeing if Premium Bandai US puts it up. They usually will. The last few devices have all shown up on there, so I fully expect Premium Bandai US to have it as well. It's, it can be easy to order through them, but again, the amount of time you wait is pretty ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. You don't really save that much on the actual cost of the device itself, so just do your research, I guess, is all I'm saying, if you wanted to go that route. So let's actually talk about the content of the device. So we see the Digimon sprites right here, again, directly from the Vital Bracelet, except for those that weren't on there. So we have Gomamon, for example. Gomamon never showed up on any DIM cards whatsoever, so it's nice to actually see it here. It's a bit bigger than I was expecting, I'm not gonna lie. I would have thought he'd be a little smaller, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Looks nice. Only one that doesn't look nice is Agumon, and actually Gabumon's fine. Gabumon's sprite's fine. Agumon's just the weird one. Look at him. What did they do? Anyway, not going to dwell on that. We already talked about that a little. So if we scroll down, we see the different chosen children as well. You're going to be able to team up with them with them and their Digimon, I should say, because when you start up the device, you choose one of the chosen children and their Digimon partner. So if you wanted to have Joe and Gomamon, they come together as a package deal. Scrolling on down here, so you can see what it looks like as you're walking around. The background actually moved behind you, which is pretty dang sweet. I like that a lot, that they added that in there. Obviously, if you're wearing this on your belt, you're not going to be looking at it constantly, but if you're sitting at your desk and shaking it, you'll be able to see that actual walking animation going on. I don't know what the screen timeout is like. I don't know if they've mentioned that at all anywhere. I didn't see it, at least, so I don't know how long the screen will stay on. I'd imagine it's probably about the same as the Digital Monster Color and Pendulum Color, which stay on for 16 seconds, so that's about what I would guess for this, too. We see here that it does give a few tech specs, and USB-C charging is in, just like it is on the Digital Monster Color and Digimon Pendulum Color, so that is great to see. There's also a haptic feedback vibrator in there, or whatever you want to call it. So it just like, you know, the Rumble Pack on your old Nintendo 64, it'll shake for certain things, which is, you know, neat. I'm looking forward to seeing that. A lot of people have actually wanted a haptic feedback in Virtual Pets for a long time as a way for muting, just like you would with your phone. So great that they're actually putting it in something. We also see there's LEDs. So this is straight off of the SCSA series. They often put LEDs in the device that will light up depending on what you're doing with the device. So evolution sequences and all that. The Digivice Colon actually had that too, but that device sucked. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So it's cool to see these, what looks to be an actual cool and competent device. So they'll change colors depending on things, and we'll see examples of that as we look more into this. Other thing you should know is that there are sounds that play on the device. So there's voice lines and background music that'll appear. We also get a trading card with the device. Great, moving on. So here's a whole bunch of random features on here. So I want to call special attention to that little circle at the top with the map in it. You'll see it cycling through different areas from the show. So there's Spiral Mountain. Coming up next is going to be Subspace, where they fight Apocalypse, and then the Network, where they fight Diablomon. So, and then they're going back. You'll notice a few things from this right away. So first of all, it's in English, which there doesn't appear to be any Japanese on this device as far as I can tell. Every Digimon name I've seen has been in English. The areas have been in English. The menus have been in English. So if you are worried about there being a language barrier because you do not speak Japanese, if you are able to speak English, then you should have no problem navigating this device whatsoever, which is pretty cool to see that they're making this very international friendly again. You'll also see that, you know, with each area coming from the show, so it follows a different arc. So you have File Island with Devimon, and you have Folder Continent with Edamon, and Tokyo with Vamdemon. It goes all the way up to the movie, our war game, and not further than that. So whether or not we're going to see Tri content or Kazuna content remains to be seen. There's been no mention of anything beyond just the original Digimon Adventure on here, which, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what actual content will be on there when it releases, but I wouldn't be surprised if they included some of the later stuff too. But yeah, I'm not going to hold my breath either if this is meant to be just like based on the original adventure and they don't want to include the later stuff. Another thing I'll point out with the map, so as they're going through this again, it's going to come back to File Island. And on File Island, you'll notice that there's different spots for different areas to go into. So we have, they go all the way back to it, they go into it, so you got the lake, they got the tropical jungle. So each of these basically corresponds with an episode of the show. So like that's where they fight Meramon, I believe, the Gear Savannah. There's Toy Town, where they battle with Monzemon. They're going to go in the lake, and there's Monochromon, which showed up at the beginning of that episode, and Seedramon, which was at the end of the episode. So the areas you choose seem to directly correspond with episodes of the show. Whether or not they'll have an area for every single episode, I would doubt that. I believe there's 52 episodes of the original Digimon Adventure, so 52 areas, that's actually not an insane number of them. Although, since you have to walk through each one, maybe that would be a lot. There certainly appears to be more areas on this than on the original device, and even like with File Island, you get to a point and it'll split apart the map, and then you have the second File Island. So basically, it looks like you'll be able to experience the overall story of the show pretty well with just this device, which is very impressive for a handheld LCD toy. So we see also you can walk around with other chosen children and their partners. So in this case, Gabumon, I believe, would be the partner here. And so you're walking with Sora and Piomon, just walking around. You can meet up. So you choose one partner to begin with, and then you can find others as you explore the world and as you go through different areas. So you'll meet up with the rest and you'll have a full team sooner or later. They also show off here different types of interactions you could do. So there's battle interactions that'll happen, after a certain number of steps in each area. And then there's what they're calling camping interactions, where your Digimon will just have fun little things that they're doing. So playing soccer, eating donuts, sleeping by the fire. Whether or not there's more to it than just having nice animations, no idea. Those donuts are one of the items on the device, so there's different items. What those items actually do, or if they even have any other effect other than just playing animations, no idea. That remains to be seen entirely. So battles are a little bit more straightforward when you're battling. So in this case, we have Gabumon and Piyomon have their little cut-in images. They got cheered on by their chosen children, it looks like, and so they did more damage against the enemy. I don't know. Although that's Greymon over there, isn't it? So I guess they're powering up your Digimon. So yeah, I don't know. This isn't, or is that a different thing entirely? I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait for them to actually explain that rather than just watching this and trying to see what I see. Yeah, so there's like a battle clash and it goes over and it hits them, and yeah, there you go. They're dead, whatever. All right, moving on. I'm done staring at that. I can stare at that all day, I guess. All right, so yeah, you got all the different partners there, including Tailmon. Not sure if you can choose Tailmon at the beginning or not. I don't know. I might have to look back at the footage and verify that one way or the other. But what you do see, though, is that each of the areas appears to have like its own background to walk through. So again, Piyomon looks like it's going through where they fought Meramon. Tailmon looks like it's walking around in Tokyo. Tentomon may be walking through that factory. Yeah, it's definitely that factory where they fight Andromon. Gomamon's walking around Infinity Mountain where it fights Unimon. So each of the different areas that you select may have their own unique background. I don't know if every single one has unique background, but there certainly are a large number of them, it looks like, which is pretty cool to see. And as you're walking around or as you're doing other things, there's music that can play too. So Butterfly, of course, is obviously in there. Braveheart will be in there when you do evolution sequences, all the stuff that you would normally expect from Digimon music for Digimon Adventure. Scrolling down, so we have battles and how they play out. So there's 3 methods of attacking in battle. There is either pressing the buttons, there is twisting, and there is shaking. And it didn't seem like you get to choose which one you do. And the way that they describe it, it kind of sounds like it may have to do with attribute, virus, data, vaccine, whatever it might be. But I would doubt the Digimon that you are, because you're never going to be a virus Digimon if you're one of the 8 chosen children's partners. But you would fight viruses, so I'm wondering if that's what it has to do with. Which one you do depends on what you're battling against. I don't know. Pure conjecture. Definitely need more information on that to be sure. Also talking about evolution here, so the the standard evolutions are all in there from an adventure, the things that you would normally expect to see. The only thing that should be noted from this is that, first of all, evolutions don't stick. This isn't a virtual pet. This is a quest device, and in those, it emulates the style that the show adapted, which is to have Digimon revert to their child forms after a battle. So that's what's going to happen here. It says that there are Digimon who may not be able to evolve, implying that the different guest characters that you can get from the originals, that's going to make a comeback. So Digimon like Weezermon and Veedramon were obtainable on previous versions of the Adventure Digivice, and they may show up again here and just like the same on those devices, just not be able to evolve. It also mentions that some Digimon will start evolving from the adult stage, which that would refer to Tailmon, of course. Concerningly, though, it does say that there are Digimon who can't reach Ultimate, and that could just mean that one of the guest characters, like those, can't, or it could mean that the actual partners, not all of them, can evolve to Ultimate. And if that's the case, that'd be pretty disappointing, because we have War Greymon and Metal Garurumon. They're obviously in, because they were in the show, and we see War Greymon right there. That's not in question. What is in question is whether the other 6 partners will be able to obtain their ultimate form. So will Zudomon be able to obtain Vikemon, or maybe Plesiomon? I don't know. This is going off classic adventure, not try, so you never know. Or will Garudamon be able to become Hoemon? It's hard to say. I wouldn't be surprised if they couldn't. I will be happy if they do, is I guess all I'll say. And then as far as how you can get to those evolutions, every time you win a battle, just like on the old devices, that battle will count towards a meter, and if you fill up that meter, it'll let you obtain the next evolution stage. So evolutions themselves are very fleshed out on this. They play a whole animation sequence where it shows the crest and everything. This is for evolving into the perfect stage, of course. The Digimon do spinning. They actually have back sprites for all the Digimon now. Those weren't on the Vital Bracelet. They had to create new animation frames for these, and After they do their spinning, they show little still images of their evolution sequences straight from the show. You see the Digimon, the names go by, so they do a nice little effect, and it's honestly like really, really well done. Like, this is very impressive to see on something like this. They just really went all out. I love it. I really love how much effort they put into this. And you'll also see that when you evolve, if you look in those little squares next to each evolution animation, it's the LEDs in the device that light up, and they indicate that specific crest. So you have orange for the crest of courage, red for the crest of love, all that, and that's a really nice touch. That's what they did for the SCSA devices. Having it in an actual gameplay Digivice is really dang cool. So, and of course, when you're doing this, it's playing Braveheart the whole time, so it's just it's just freaking great. I love it. I just love how they're combining all this into one device. It's really cool to see. So they summarize a couple things here. You see that there's the various interactions that will happen between Digimon and the humans, and you know, they'll probably have voice clips associated with them that you won't be able to understand. Any voice clips on this are going to be in Japanese, just a heads up. So while you don't need to use any Japanese to navigate the device or to read it, you will need it to understand what characters are saying. And whether or not that's a big deal or not, I don't know. It's not a big deal for me. You can probably guess what they're saying most of the time, but moving on there. So they summarize a bunch of stuff, and then down here at the bottom, something cool is that this will be able to connect with the Digital Monster Color and the Digimon Pendulum Color. So you'll be able to battle with Digimon from those devices. Whether it will use the Digital Monster system for both, because the Digimon Pendulum has access to a pendulum system and a Digital Monster system that it uses with the Digital Monster Color. Not sure. The original Digivice did have a pendulum mode. Yeah, it had that, right? I'm pretty sure it had that. So it would do pendulum-style battles for the pendulum. And if this one, whether or not this one can or not, unknown. So if it does end up just using the original Digital Monster system for the Digital Monster Color, I wouldn't be surprised. But if it had both in there, that'd be pretty neat. I would love to see that. I actually do want to scroll back up here for a second and look at this. So in this still image here, you see that's got the frame around the screen there, or within the screen, I should say. So the screen, again, it's got a full circle screen, and it fills up the entire device. I am curious, this frame that's here, so it's shown up automatically in a few spots while they've been doing different interactions. When the boot up happens, for example, it's there, but then it like kind of slides away. I'm curious if it will let you just keep that frame on the whole time and have it look more like the original Digivice. I would like that more, personally. I would love that to be an option. I don't know if it is an option or not, but I think that would be really cool if it is, because having the full screen's nice, but you know, that frame is part of the distinctive look of the original Digivice to me. So if I can have it on all the time, I would definitely like that. Or, you know, all the time when I have the screen on. Obviously, it won't be on all the time because the screen won't be on all the time. But yeah, I would definitely like to be able to have that appear. So that's all the details for this model. And so again, that is 11,000 yen right now. Pre-orders are going on now through April, and this is going to release in July. And if you order through Premium Bandai US, then you'll probably get it in like October or something, I would imagine, like 3 months later, who knows. So there are two other versions though. They have an orange and a blue one for both Taichi and Yamato, just like they had on the original releases of the Digivice back in the day. Actually, my American Digivice was the same colors as the one we're looking at right here, so it's definitely nostalgic for me to see that. These are, however, the DX versions, so both the Taichi and the Yamato colors. They are not, well, they're the same device. I should emphasize that. Just because they're called DX doesn't mean they're not the same device, because they are. They are the same overall thing. There are, there's one difference that they've shown off so far, and that is that, if I scroll all the way down here, there we go. Different items. So when you start up the device, you get a few items, and this one has different items. And what these items do, I have no idea. Are they important? No clue. Do you need them? Maybe. Probably not. So if you are worried about missing out on content, I wouldn't worry too much unless you think these items are going to be super important to you in some way. I don't expect them to be. Like, I'm not going to purchase a whole nother one just because, oh, this one's got goggles on it. I don't know what the goggles do, and I don't really care. The light blue one is the color I prefer anyway. But the other thing that the DX version does come with, though, and that looks like the only software version they're saying, the other differences are that it comes with more stuff. So we have the tag and the crests, a little necklace you could wear. Many of you watching this probably already have one that you bought on Etsy or something. So if you've already got one, I wouldn't worry too much about that. But it doesn't do anything. It just is there. It's got a logo on the back. Looks nice. It certainly does look nice, but Does it look nice enough to spend more? And we'll get to the price here in a second. And then it has an anniversary art book, which is literally just a book of all the various sprites and pieces of artwork contained within the device, which also, not really something I need. The sprites are already on the device. I'd rather just see them there. I don't really have a strong desire to see them in the book. Something like the Dot and Art History book was really cool just because it contained not only sprites and contained a lot of sprites, which is nice, from various devices, but also included a lot of background information on devices and other cool things. So just a book of sprites from the device, not super appealing to me, but maybe it is to you. So if these things are appealing to you, if you want to have the tag and the crests, and you want to have the anniversary art book, and you want to have these items, what even are these? Are these like chicken? I don't know what this is. You can only get them with the orange or the blue version, the dark blue one, the Yamato one, I should say. So the Yamato blue or the Taichi orange, those are the only ones that come with this. So yeah, there's the Yamato one. So the original light blue one, not original, the standard, the regular color, does not come with the extra content, meaning the tag and crest, the art book, and the items that who knows what they do. Whereas the Yamato and Taichi versions do. Just to double check, does the Yamato version, does the Yamato version come with different items from the Taichi one? I never even bothered to look. It does. It comes with a harmonica and rice. A big tower of rice. So if harmonicas and big towers of rice are important to you, then there you go. But that you do pay a hefty fee for wanting these. In fact, you pay 5,500 yen more for these than you do for the standard version. So 16,500 yen. Still the same pre-order period, still the same release date, but yeah, you got to pay up if you feel like these things are important to you or if you really like these colors. So a bit of a bummer that there wasn't an option to upgrade for every color. I think that would make a lot of people more happy if they didn't want to spend this much money but really wanted the orange one. So yeah, whatever. I'm not too interested in the bonus content. I am still going to get one that has it just for the sake of completion and so I can fully cover all this stuff when it does come out. But yeah, if I wasn't doing Digimon videos on the regs, I would not probably get these. I'll put it like that. So in addition to that, there were a few other things shown off at the Digimon Con. So one thing that you didn't really get a good glimpse at on that page is the baby forms. So on the original Digivice, as soon as you selected a character, the baby 2 form would appear and it would immediately evolve. Same thing happens here, but with the new evolution sequence from this device. And another thing, so when you defeat important boss battles, it says here, you'll be able to see a scene from the series. And again, those scenes aren't like, actually playing, they're just more of a slideshow than an actual scene itself. And so you see like there's Devimon, and apparently when you first encounter him at Infinity Mountain, it seems like, then he'll split up the island at that point, which makes sense, that's how you get to that map. So very cool to see that. Again, you really seems like you may just be able to experience the whole of Adventure's story by just going through this device. Going back to sound clips, we see here that Agumon is on the screen and it's all lit up because the host here held down the lower right button, the C button, for a moment. And when you do that, when you hold down the button, your Digimon will just start talking to you. Again, it's in Japanese, so you may not be able to understand it if you don't speak Japanese, but very fun to see that. You can just call that up at any time, kind of like the call button from the Digivice IC. And then we also see that there is a music player. I think it might actually just be a sound player in general. It's where you can go and listen to the sounds from the device without having to have them activate via the events they would normally activate with. So that is pretty much it as far as the Digivice 25th Color Evolution goes. Again, that is a mouthful of a name. But there is other news in the realm of Digimon Virtual Pets. Last year at Digimon Con, they unveiled the Kenji Watanabe editions of the Digital Monster version 20th, and they are following that up with the Osmaria editions of the Digital Monster X versions A and B specifically. They feature Wargreymon X and Metal Garurumon X all over the device itself, as drawn by Osmaria. And if you're not familiar with Osmaria, he is one of the primary designers of X Digimon. Drew a lot of them for the trading card game and the Digimon Pendulum X back in the day, and continued to draw them for the Digital Monster X series. They've also done several pieces of artwork for the current card game, and now they have this lovely piece of artwork to add to the repertoire of beautiful Digimon designs. So if we look at the devices themselves, they are completely wrapped in the designs. Both look absolutely phenomenal. There's some nice touches thrown in there too. So this is the English version of the Digital Monster X, version A and version B. The Japanese version, of course, was sold long ago, so easier for them to get the English versions instead and paint those up. And we can even see the English logo from the box art on here as well, featuring that little weird O that looks like a little gremlin monster of some variety. So yeah, these are in English. They are being sold in Japan, just like with the Digivice 25th color evolution. These will be available on different import stores and will likely be available via Premium Bandai US as well, but they are primarily being sold in Japan. They are a bit more expensive, of course, than the Digital Monster X runs outside of Japan, where you can get those between $10 and $20 off of Amazon. These cost 5,500 yen, so on a good day, that's going to set you back about 30 USD. Again, other areas of the world, I will let you do your own conversions, but yeah, a little pricey, but the artwork is definitely better than anything that we have. If you want these, they will be available to pre-order right now. You can check out different import stores to see if they have them as well. And these are releasing in August, so a little bit later than the Digivice. And these are available for pre-order through the 5th of April. So pretty neat. Again, I wouldn't say this is really for everyone. They are a bit pricey, especially if you already have an XA or XB. Those also aren't my favorite versions of the X, so not a huge draw for me in that realm, but I probably will get these just for the artwork alone because they do look pretty phenomenal. And that does bring us to the end of the Digimon Electronics news that we had at Digimon Con, so no updates on the second wave of the Pendulum Color. We do still fully expect that to happen at some point, and they even said there that there will be updates on more Digimon toys, speaking in the context of things like this coming up in the future. So the next big Digimon Day will be in June for the anniversary of the franchise, so if they wait, I hope they don't wait till then for announcing the new Pendulum Colors, but we will see. We could potentially see those this year if all goes well, but yeah, there's nothing new for them to announce on that realm right now. But what I will go over is they did reveal a lot about Digimon Liberator, and with that comes the new Digimon from Digimon Liberator. So there's a whole line for Terramon and for Shumon, and we'll just kind of go through these here and explain why they're relevant here in a moment. So here we have Yolkmon. It's an egg, it's a baby 1 form, and my goodness, it's great. There have been a lot of times where the baby 1 and baby 2 have just been, well, the baby 2 is like the severed head of the child form, and then the baby 1 is just a simplified version of that. Look no further than friggin' Digimon, Digimon 02 kind of started that. Digimon Tamers leaned heavily into it, and then other franchises did it. Most recently, Ghost Game has that same thing going on, which is just super uninteresting. So it's really refreshing to see that this doesn't even look anything like Terramon. Without the green swirls, you wouldn't even know they were associated. So absolutely love that. It evolves into Fluffymon, which is absolutely perfect in every way. This is just, they knocked it out of the park with this one. This is a great Digimon. Not only does it look good for Terramon, but this would fit right in with something like Pomumon as well. So very, very good job on this. This is great. I love this thing. Terramon itself, of course, we already knew about. And the reason I bring him up here is that little tornado there. So we have on the Wind Guardians, Metal Empire, and Virus Busters, we expect there to be a guest star line like we had on the first 3 versions of the Digimon Pendulum Color. So the one for Virus Busters is basically already confirmed to be Gamamon. And for Wind Guardians and Metal Empire, we aren't so certain. So it's most likely either something from Ghost Game or from Digimon Seekers, because both Ghost Game and Seekers were represented on the first waves with Angoramon and Jellymon from Ghost Game and then Lugamon from Seekers. But if it's not either of those, then it's also very possible they use something from Digimon Liberator, which would make sense. That would be a perfect guest star to have one of the latest new initiatives thrown into the devices. So could very easily see Terramon showing up in Wind Guardians. Originally, I was expecting something like Pulsemon, but this fits way better. So I really do hope they use Terramon there. I think it would be a great fit, as would its evolution Galemon, which we did already know about as well. But we didn't see its evolved forms before, so those have been revealed now. And those are Grand Galemon, which looks pretty good. I'm happy with it, like a bird dragon kind of thing. I do like, I like bird people in general, so this one's a little bit more draconian than I would normally like my birds to be, but still not bad. And then we have Zelfagamon, which, yeah, I'm fine with that too. It's the generic, protag turns into a humanoid mech, but it's at least still got bird features, so I'm somewhat okay with it. So that I could definitely see being in Wind Guardians. We also saw evolutions for Shumon, which this is a potential one for the Metal Empire device. Puppet Digimon often being put in Metal Empire. So we have Shumon, we have Shushumon, which we already knew about. We then have Chaperonemon, which is Obviously, some kind of Little Red Riding Hood reference going on. And then we have Cendrillmon, which seems to be a blatant misspelling of Cinderellamon, which, sure. I have questions for whomever decided on the English name for this. And that's not the localized name, mind you. I wonder what the localized name is. Let's see if we can see that. Clicked it. Yeah, it's still the localized name is still currently Cendrillmon. What a name. So this one's obviously, like I said, a reference to Cinderella. It's got all the mice. It's got the glass slippers taking up its entire legs. I see it to be very jarring, going like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yep, okay, cool. Boom. Quite different, which I don't have any problems with Digimon becoming something crazily different. Like, that's fine. That's what I expected Digimon. It's normal. It's just, I don't know. It's just so funny to see it go from all these things that are like all stitched together and then bam, suddenly this, I don't know, maybe it's stitched together as well and I just can't tell. It does say it's a puppet type, so I can't really tell where the puppeting part of it is, but I will take their word for it. Some people were trying to convince me that this whole line is, you know, related to fairy tales, which, sure, Cinderella and Chaperonemon obviously reference. What the crap fairy tale is this from? This is from nothing. This is a squirrel. It's a weird squirrel. There is no fairy tale about squirrels, especially not squirrels on rollerblades, or roller skates, I should say. So I don't know what that's all about. This, yeah, no, there ain't no fairy tale. That is not the old woman that lives in the shoe. So yeah, I don't know what that's all about. So either way, that is all there is that I'm going to share about Digimon Liberator for now, because again, these could be the Digimon that show up in the future Pendulums. Hard to say. And that does bring us to the end of the coverage that we're going to go over for Digimon Con. You may have noticed something that was very, very, very notably absent this whole time, and that is the Vital Bracelet. Nothing new whatsoever was announced for it, not even a B memory for Digimon Liberator. There was just nothing to show off about it, and that may be because they want to show it off later. Like we said, there was also nothing new for the Digimon Pendulum Color Wave 2, but we're still fully expecting that. However, we don't normally go this long without knowing information about the Vital Bracelet series. There's normally a constant stream of details out there, and I am personally very much of the mind that they are just done with it, especially with this new Digivice that they are developing. This seemed to be what they wanted to put their time into more than the Vital Bracelet, so yeah, I don't know. I definitely don't personally foresee that line continuing any longer. I think they maybe be done with the Vital Bracelet series, which is, well, fine, honestly. It had a really good run. I'm not going to mourn it, because it got a lot of good stuff out there. You know, it started in 2021 and ran, the first version of it ran for over a year, then the second version of it ran for over a year, and that's pretty good as far as Digimon electronics go. They don't normally run that long with the huge variety of Digimon that it received as well. The DIM cards pumping out every which way, but you know, there's only so much you can do with the same gameplay over and over again, and especially if they're not going to improve the app in any meaningful way. So I can't, like I say, I don't really mourn it. It just seems like, yeah, it's about time for it to be done. It's had its fun, it's run its course, people have enjoyed it, but we move on to the next thing. That's how it works, and that's kind of what I'd like to see too. I like to see new ideas for the world of Digimon pets. I think the Digivice 25th color evolution, still a mouthful. Well, it's definitely not a V-Pet, and that this time not even arguably so. Like, I argue that the Vital Bracelet is a V-Pet, while some people say no, it's not because you can't feed it, and I disagree because it still requires care in some varieties to prevent it from dying, but whatever. That's a conversation for another time. Or never, because I've had that conversation too many times. But the Digivice is very decidedly not a V-Pet in any way. It's just a quest toy with a lot of cool features on it, so it's not exactly the replacement I would want, but we are also getting the Pendulum Color series going on, so I'm not going to complain. If we get Digivices and Pendulums at the same time, then great. That's everything I could want. I have no problem with that whatsoever. So I love seeing new stuff that they try out. I wish that things could be a little bit more widely available. That's my only sadness about the Vital series, is that it was far more widely available than just about anything else other than the Digital Monster 20th and the Digital Monster X, but all of them are becoming less and less available at this point, which is a shame. We didn't hear anything from outside Japan either. No news whatsoever about localized Digimon, and I can't say I'd expected there to be any, because Bandai hasn't said anything at all or Bandai of America, I should say, hasn't said anything at all in well over a year. It's been 2 years since the X2 roster screw up. Like, I just said that out loud, and I'm like, no, there's no way that could be right, right? And so now I'm going to look this up, right? Because I don't believe me. Like, what I just said there makes no sense. It could not have been actually 2 years since then. So I am going to pull up a website. I'm going to go to versions and exclusives for the Digital Monster X. I'm just going to double check this. So do an area, this image. And this is up to date as of 25th September 2022. It has been 2 years. The screw up happened. The release of the X2 in the United States happened on April, or it wasn't, I guess it wasn't exactly April 1st, but around April 1st, which, you know, funny enough, April Fool's Day and all that, April 1st, 2022. And they called it out shortly thereafter and never said anything ever again. We were lucky enough that they did start reselling the navy and gray devices, but red and purple never got resold in the United States. They did get resold in Korea. I have a couple of the Korean editions myself, still in English, but just, you know, Korean packaging, which whatever, doesn't matter what the packaging is. But yeah, that was the last we've heard of anything Digimon whatsoever in the United States. Well, actually, that's not true. Later that year, we did get the Vital Hero, but we only got, you know, one release of it. Had 3 different models and 6 different dim cards you can get, and then they did different things with it that weren't Digimon. But as far as Digimon goes, yeah, 2022 was the last time anything new released in the United States, or I guess outside Japan in general. Well, no, because either way, there's just been nothing new in general since 2022 for Digimon outside Japan, and that's a bummer. It seemed like they were really all for it. I can't say that I thought it was selling well over here anyway. Didn't seem like it was, because every time I went to one of the stores, they had plenty of them there, and not because they kept restocking them. It was the same stock I would see every single time. So it didn't seem like the Vital Hero or even the version 20th or X were that popular. I know a lot of people got their start with it, and I'm very glad that they were widely available as they were. But yeah, just seems to have fallen off at this point, which is really a big bummer. I very much liked having releases in the United States again after so long without having anything. But yeah, I don't see them doing anything else in the near future when it comes to the Digimon brand in America, and that means that probably not anywhere else either. But who knows? Bandai of Southeast Asia, prove me wrong and make some weird devices again. Why don't you? Would love to see that. But so that's gonna do it then. So new Digivice, new colors, or new special print editions of the Digital Monster X. Nothing new about the Vital Bracelet, no updates on the Pendulum color, and that's about all we have from Digimon Con. So if you want to see the other details of the rest of it, go check out some other videos. Some other people have made other stuff on it. The whole VOD for Digimon Con is up as well now, so you can review that too. But that is going to do it for my coverage. I'll have additional videos coming out soon. I've got the review for the Pendulum color basically ready to go. I've just got to get this video out first before I can release that one, because this one's a little bit more important. And then I'm going to be doing a few other videos very quick too about other subjects. So make sure to subscribe to stay tuned for those. And yeah, that's going to do it for now. So until next time, bye.